Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lyds, and we're back for some more Thronebreaker, and last time we successfully took down the Nilfgaardians that we had been waiting a long time to finally defeat, and after making a lot of changes to our deck, it looks like we've at least partially figured out how to make all the new cards work, and when they are working properly, we can make them very, very effective. However, we also realize that this is apparently a significant checkpoint of sorts, the likes of which it will cut us off from the first half of Ongren once we go through it and only have access to the second half. So that means any and everything that we want to do in this first half, we should do before we do this main quest mission right there. So we do have a bunch of the question marks, which I think at this stage are pretty much all just exchanging one resource for another, so it might be worth a quick check to see, given how we did just recently spend a whole bunch of stuff on a somewhat major upgrade. Do we want to do some of these exchanges, or do we choose to just pass on them? The other thing, though, is that we still have a treasure map that we have not found yet. And we've been pretty darn thorough looking for this thing, and presumably it is in the first half of Ongren, I would imagine. Because, yeah, we did get a pop-up saying when we were about to start that checkpoint mission that there was one chest in this first half that we've not yet gotten in. It must be this, right? So we looked very thoroughly everywhere around here. We highly suspected it would be in this spot because it had some elven ruins, and there definitely seemed to be some elven ruins on that map. This was another spot that had some elven ruins, but it wasn't quite the right shape. Then I think we also looked in the swamp over here. Yeah, there's a little bit of elven ruins over there, but we didn't find it in that location either. Then I think we tried this section, although they weren't elven ruins. The general structure was roughly the same shape. So the only thing I can think of is that we've not yet gone way back up near the top section where we started and what have you. So I think that is really the only thing that we have left to check. And it must be there, right? Surely it must be somewhere over there. And while we're here, was this one of the spots where there's an exchange we can make? What's your deal? Oh, well, we can't even afford this one at least. Let's see. It's merchant. We can exchange gold for a lot of wood. That seems like that would theoretically, I mean, that exchange rate seems pretty decent. This one, I mean, technically speaking, if we never expect to craft a single card, then the recruits don't mean much to us, even if they are usually the hardest resource to come across. So it's kind of a free, quote-unquote, 50 gold. I mean, that's not a huge number, but we're pretty light on gold right now. So that's not out of the question. In fact, sure, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do it. Because I think that gold number was low enough that I was a little bit concerned that we might find ourselves unable to craft things at all. Oh, okay. I really thought this was a completely new hidden area that we'd never been in before, and that it was not even going to show up on our mappers. I don't know. This is a larger area than I first thought, and more prominent of an area, and that looks like we've been here before. So yeah, for a second I thought this was a section that we'd not been to, although this also looks like some ruins. Is that the elven ruins we're talking about over here? No. Okay, hold on, that's interesting. This isn't going to be the spot with our treasure map now, is it? No? Okay, well, I mean, as I said, we've been very, very thorough with the middle and latter parts of this section of Ongren, so I think that must mean that this place with the hidden chest is much earlier on than we would have expected, and it probably is hidden in some obscure corner that we've not yet checked, or maybe we checked it proactively before we had the chest. We probably even said something like, oh, this looks like a place where there would be a hidden chest at some point or another. Yeah, like The space we're looking for is enclosed in a rectangular-like structure, but it's definitely stone, not wood. I don't think it's that. This looks promising. Because this is it, question mark? Because this is it. Okay, here we go. This is why we didn't see it before. Reynard? Now? This late in the game, I'm very surprised it took us this long to get him. I mean, we unlocked Reynard's card in Gwent multiplayer very, very early. I think the very first golden chest we got in the entire game, to tell you the truth. So I'm surprised it took us this long to find his picture. Also, for what it's worth, I still have not been able to link my Thronebreaker rewards with multiplayer Gwent for months now at this point. So whether or not I will ever get the chance to use that is perhaps a whole different question altogether. But now that we've done that, okay, that was not so bad after all. Well, I mean, besides the part where it took us a long time on prior occasions to find that spot. But yes, it was hidden way back here. So that makes some sense, because I do not remember ever having gone back there before. Let's double check these other points of interest, though, as we were saying. I think before we head out, worth seeing if any of those other ones are worth doing. You know, maybe there are some, like the one that we just did, where we sacrificed some people, some recruits, okay? In exchange for something like this. Like this. So, I mean, as I said, in general, recruits are the hardest resource to come by, it seems, because whenever we get them in much smaller quantities. However, since we've never spent a point, never invested at all in recruits besides situations like this, I would like to believe that even if we did find ourselves in need of crafting some units later on, that recruits are not going to be the bottleneck. It's going to end up being, well, on this occasion, certainly gold. So picking up a tiny bit of gold, but a lot more wood, it's probably still worth doing, even if 8 recruits is a pretty large number. Let's do it. Let's do it. Getting aggressive here. We also have, I think, a few shrines, and we're on neutral morale, so we might as well bump up to high morale. That, I'm pretty sure, is just spend wood to build a bridge, and that's not really useful for us. I don't remember what that one is. Let's go check that one out. Maybe... there are more efficient shrines we can go to. Just that's in the opposite direction there. So let's go see. So that this one was right around where some of the villagers who were mad at us about not... Oh, hello, we'll take that. Some of the villagers were mad at us about not siding with Gurnakora. Granted, that's happened to us on several occasions now, so one of several groups of people. What was this all about, though? Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Yeah. I'm trying to do, not that, but this. Oh, okay, this is going to lower our morale. Well, again, we have, I think, multiple shrines available to us. So, what is this? Reported substantial riches are located in this abandoned hovel, along with a swarm of vermin. Floor is black with the blood of bloated leeches and maggots. That's disgusting. Bats hang from the ceiling, and spiderwebs cover the windows. I called for volunteers to recover the valuables, but none stepped forward. They're too afraid. I mean, yes, I think foreshadowing 100%. But also, we should be able to take the hit when it comes to our morale, because I think we have at least 2 shrines available right now, in which case this is, again, basically just a little bit of free gold. I don't remember if any of these encounters... Obviously, we've seen many encounters like that. That's basically what we're doing, is going to a whole bunch of these types of encounters where you trade one resource for another, or lower morale to receive something else, and whatnot. I don't remember to what extent, if ever, those types of encounters have ever had larger narrative implications. I don't think they have. Just confirm my theory that we have enough shrines. We have 3 by the looks of things, which should be enough. And even if this one lowers our, I guess go to this one first and see if that's going to be something that also costs us morale. But I imagine it's another one of the trade gold for wood or vice versa. That's usually what they are. As whether I chose to go the correct direction to get here. Yeah, oh. Oh, well, no. Over this way. I was about to say, why not just do this one? Because I did overshoot a bit. Is this also a group of people who are unhappy with us, or is this the suspiciously jovial bunch? Oh. Oh, wow. That's an even exchange of a large sum of gold for a large sum of wood. In general, gold is much more valuable than wood. So that seems like, or, you know, that the exchange rate is usually something more like this. Lose 750 wood for gaining 200 gold. Like, we would, for this, we would expect to get 4,500 or so wood. But we're not getting that. So, we definitely have way more wood than we do gold right now. As for whether that's actually a good exchange is a little bit hard to say. Actually, let's double check real quick. Let's see, when it comes to upgrades, I think there's one more, and possibly only one more upgrade we may ever feel the need to get, and that is this one here, which is actually a lot more wood than it is gold. So that's why I think it's worth double checking, because even if usually gold is preferable, that may not be the case for us right now. Otherwise, we've done all these. We could do these, and yes, these would benefit from getting more gold rather than wood. I guess it's not out of the question that these could still be of some use to us in the future. What is our recruit cap and recruit cost? Right, yeah, I mean, we have a huge margin at the moment, so that's not urgent by any means. You know, by the time that's relevant, we should have enough gold to make that upgrade anyway, but is there anything else? That's the one we were just looking at. And then all the stuff for crafting crafting specific cards, and then there's this one, trade gold for wood or recruits, as well as wood for gold. Obviously, just the option of using that trading capability requires that you invest, considering that we have to get both of these, over 8,000 gold. So, if that is the only reason for us to take these two upgrades, then that is definitely inefficient for us. Otherwise, I mean, I guess if we've done everything else that is useful, then we could increase Meve's movement speed, even if we've spoken several times about how that doesn't feel like that's necessary. And who knows, maybe in the future there will be other upgrades along the way for us that are not yet things we can see. Basically, I think at this point we're doing pretty well from an upgrade standpoint, and not in desperate need of just exchanging one resource for another. Obviously, getting more resources, generally speaking, yes, but it's not as if one is much more of need than the other. So, in that case, let's shrine, and then we are pretty close to the location we're trying to go to. Alright, not bad. And this should get us neutral, and the other one will get us up to high morale, and then we're good to go. Nice. Then, I mean, we'll double check. I'm pretty sure at that point, going to that main quest mission will basically tell us, you've found everything here that there is to find of note. So hopefully, that means that we will not really need to go back for anything else, and we can say we've been there, done that, done everything that we want to do. Straight ahead, Lids. In fact, it was almost kind of sort of visible. Okay, high morale. Technically, we do still have one more shrine here that I believe remains unused. Then again, I think we've already gotten... There was an achievement for using a certain number of shrines. We've already gotten that, so that's not really a concern anymore. Normally, you would save these so that you can go back in case you find yourself in desperate need of raising morale in the future, but there is every indication that once we go and do this, that we will not be able to come back here anyway. Alright, but I think we proceed, and this will be a main quest mission of some variety, and I think we were eyeing it before and we were about to do it, but then saw that we had not gotten everything and doubled back. So there are Nilfgaardian flags, but not everyone here is in Nilfgaardian armor. And this guy is, these guys are not, although it's like kind of wearing a Nilfgaardian helmet. Not exactly. No, that's a single plume, not the double Nilfgaardian plume, so don't really know what to make of that. I mean, it's more or less under Nilfgaardian control, but are there going to be some kind of dissenters that we can perhaps get the support of? Okay, so let's see. Quest completed. It's mostly this that we were seeing before. We did not have all the golden chests previously. Now we do. We're approaching an important moment in the journey. If we choose to continue, we will not be able to resume any unfinished activity in this area. Okay. So I assume that, I mean, there is still a large area of Angren that we've not yet been to, so I assume it's just going to cut us off from this previous area. Don't know if there's going to be some kind of dramatic thing that, you know, the first half of the woods is going to get burnt down, and so, of course, there's no way we can go back at that point. Because I don't think we've had something like this before in other areas, but maybe I'm just forgetting it. I think we're good to go, though.
In Angren's swamps, one can easily lose one's way. Thick fog fills the air, paths end without warning, dense thickets obscure the distance. The sole way to determine one's position is to climb a tree and peer out over the canopy. This duty fell to Meve's scouts, while the force halted below. During one such delay, Meve caught the words she'd longed to hear.
Majesty! Tuzla Castle! It's
Okay.
tower! I see it!
Now, I think we were talking about this last time when we first were approaching Tuzla Castle, which is, of course, the place where this main quest mission is supposed to take place. I think this might have been where we were expecting to run into, Caldwell? Although I might be misremembering that.
To her soldiers' astonishment, Meve cast off her gauntlets and started up the nearest trunk.
Oh.
She longed to see the castle for herself, but then she would know sweet vengeance was at hand.
That would
Climb proved
make sense with the
tricky,
whole
as the
vengeance
trunk was
theme.
slippery and the branches run through
Meve?
with rock were frail.
Careful.
Meve showed herself to be skillful and spry.
Okay.
As a child, she had loved to scale trees, much to her governess' dismay.
Meve was actually an expert tree climber. Thank you very much.
Meve looked out to see a mighty stone tower outlined against the horizon. Legend holds Tuzla Castle was to have had 3 such bastions. Yet King Ragbard, the fort's benefactor, had forsaken the effort when yet another stone transport simply sank into Angren's boggy roads. It was a moment of respite for Meve, a moment of quiet joy. She breathed.
We might have done that.
Tasted air free of the bog stench. She took in silence undisturbed by the hum of mosquito swarms. And she relished her prospects.
Nice.
The coming battle against Caldwell.
Okay. There's the confirmation I was looking for. It's when they start talking about this other dude, this Ragbard guy who I'm not really familiar with, and he's king. Sounds important, but Caldwell. That's who we're here for. Okay. Oh. Okay, now is this basically just a second instance of the same question that we had before, where it's basically a, hey, if you go forward now, there's no turning back? Or is this actually a strategic decision that is entirely separate from that, where, you know, we are still going to, attack the castle in either way, but there's some difference between attacking right now versus, you know, postponing and waiting till nightfall, and then we have a strategic advantage or something like that. I'm assuming this is just us doubling back to give us another chance to check out the first half of Angren, but I did already warn us about that, so I don't really know. Usually, though, patience does pay off in these types of situations, I feel like. So let's try this. We'll see if it pumps us back out. If it does, then we'll just hop back in.
I've long awaited this,
said the Queen.
but 'tis not reason enough to rush. Revenge is best served cold, after all.
Oh.
The Queen postponed the assault for a spell.
Okay. Now, is this just... Okay, yeah. So just bumps us back out here. It's another, basically, a a second warning. Okay, no worries. We'll jump back in then. Okay, now I would prefer if it didn't
Meve once
give
again
us...
found herself
Oh.
midst the forests around Tuzla Castle. Her men
It's
still
different.
poised, watching her in anticipation.
Okay. Now we can attack. I was hoping that wasn't going to repeat the entire thing there,
The
but
soldiers stood
now we attack.
exhausted and filthy, many with raspy coughs, all sick of the meager gruel. But with the command to advance, a new strength sparked within them. Their step
Yes.
was lively, a fire burned in their eyes, each hoping to spill Caldwell's entrails, then dash them upon the fort wall.
Okay, guys, maybe a little too far, but
Stronghold
point taken.
perched atop a stone aisle. Their verve dwindled, enthusiasm waned. They had taken fortresses with thicker walls, taller towers, and manned by more men. Yet they'd never seen nor laid siege to a fort standing on land so ill-suited. To rush the bulwarks through waist-deep mud. Was this even possible?
Yeah, that's generally a poor strategic decision to do that.
Prove I was no fool to keep you at my side.
Said Meve, turning to Gascon and Reynard.
A slaughter I must avoid.
Okay.
How will I do it?
Your Grace,
Began Reynard.
set our machines to sling boulders. At the west wall, it's weakest. 'Tis our best chance at a breach.
Our men will need cover.
Added Gascon.
Reeds we must harvest and burn. Smoke will cloak us. Conceal us from the castle's defenders.
Good.
Agreed the Queen.
Now get to work.
Okay, I like it. I thought we were going to have to pick sides once again, and Reynard was going to say knock down the walls, and Gascon was going to suggest a more stealthy approach, and we weren't going to be able to get the best of both worlds, but perhaps having both of them will give us a couple of advantages here. We will see.
Amidst billowing blue smoke, Lyrian footmen rushed through the breach wrought by Reynard's catapults.
Is there actually a difference? I'm curious.
Yet to forgive her companions, Meve had to admit they'd given her sound advice.
Okay. Alright. Perhaps we are about to find out. The Siege of Tuzla, and that is the man we are after. Caldwell was nowhere to be seen. What? Excuse me. Which hadn't surprised Meve in the least. Then again, he is rather cowardly. The Count never fought on the front. That doesn't surprise me. Instead, he preferred to stay back, to galvanize the men by shouting encouragement and brandishing his sword. A blade that rarely tasted blood. Okay, it's a story battle. It's a shortened battle, just one round. Okay. Now, in the past, generally speaking, the story battles have been a little bit easier than the other battles, so we'll see if that happens to be the case here, and we will also see if we have any sorts of actual in-game advantages from having kept our faith in both Gascon and Reynard, or if that was all just narrative and, story fluff, but no real substance to it. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, just one round. Okay. I think these are walls. I see a bunch of cards on their side. Bunch of palisades, so immobile, permanent, resilience, doomed, and then there's a gate. Yeah, we've had several encounters like this before where they've had a castle wall. If we destroy the gate, every turn start, boost a random ally by 2, give it 2 armor. If we destroy this, destroy all palisades, boost all enemies, as in our cards, in hand, deck, on the battlefield by 2. So we really want to get rid of this if we can. Okay, and it is Caldwell. It is Caldwell. Seize a random bronze enemy unit, cooldown 5. That does feel very Caldwell-like. Bronze enemy units. I mean, part of me wants to keep out things like the footmen and the arbalists who, are not, they give us some value, but it's still relatively weak compared to other bronzes. Like, if we do a whole bunch to power up these disgraced warriors and other Skellige units, then probably gonna be a little less fond of them getting stolen. Then again, these guys are definitely best when it comes to us having multiple rounds in which to power them up and put them into our graveyard, replay them, and so on and so forth. So this may not really be a great occasion. Oh, to use you. That is not the usual Reynard. Nor is that the usual Gascon. All right, I like to see this. This is seemingly a way in which the game has made an in-game difference to us having stayed true to Gascon and Reynard. Apply Thick Fog to an allied row, which gives all units on it immune. Oh. I believe that will prevent Caldwell from stealing those cards. Also, what is this? Catapult parts? No ability. That probably has something to do with Reynard stuff, though. Transform catapult parts into a catapult. What is the catapult? 8 points. Order destroy a palisade. Ooh, I like it. Thematically fitting. Then again, of course, we would like to just destroy the castle gate as well. But yeah, what does just one order to destroy a palisade? Okay, so it's mostly an 8 power body. In that case, it seems like more than anything. Is this technically a boss? It is a boss, okay. As everyone knows, the gate is obviously the boss of this encounter. So we cannot poison the gate with tainted ale. As interesting as that might be. It's a shortened match, so I'm not really sure that Northern Wind is going to give us that much time to benefit here. I don't love you in a short match. As great as you guys were when we went all in on the Skellige stuff, that was when we had 3 rounds to work with. I did want an Infiltrator, because this, I think, is going to be a really nice combo for us. Especially with you as well. So that's great. Oh, we did have Dogger, though. I mean, but again, we can't really count on our Skellige cards getting into our graveyard here, I don't think. So, not really sure that's going to be of much use to us. And what is Xavier going to give charges to? Can we could do that for the catapults, I guess. Again, just destroying 1 or 2 palisades, or 3 if we use all charges from Xavier. I don't really see that being a big difference maker, but I don't really know what to expect in terms of their cards either. So maybe I'm wrong. I feel like we dump this. Okay, Alchemist, I think, is going to be one of our best cards. This is really going to be the key combo here, I think. And then, as fantastic as Dogger was in the past, I do think we may need to dump him. I mean, in the absence of understanding what our opponents are going to try to do here, Infiltrator, also, love it. Okay, so we can go absolutely all in on this, and that sounds great to me. But not really anything for Xavier to do here, I don't think. Bomber. Given how we're so reliant on our Infiltrators here, I don't like that all that much either. Okay, you're not going to be very good either.
I knew you'd come. Your lofty pride presages another dramatic fall.
Says the person who, decided to abandon his ruler because he didn't have faith in them. Alrighty then. Okay, so we do need for them to play something big, and preferably pretty early, for us to put the tainted. Actually, we may need to get our order of operations corrected, because this takes 3 turns. I think that means we can go Tainted Ale, and then we have time for both of our Infiltrators to do their thing. We might want to go Infiltrator first, and then Tainted Ale, just to be absolutely certain. Might use Alice's Thunder on the gate. Not entirely sure about that yet. I mean, we could play Reynard now, because that's not super time sensitive, or Gascon we could use now as well. What are we thinking we're going to use with our leader building? Because that was definitely something that was working best with our Skellige cards before. Patricide? Could probably still do... does this count? Or do all these count as... No, they're artifacts, not units. Or enemy units, darn. Otherwise, I was going to say Patricide will just absolutely eat through that gate extremely quickly. I mean, that probably is still going to be the card we go for here. Otherwise, Gabor has 15 damage. That's certainly not bad either. So I think we just use the Footman, as we did, I believe, last time, as our fodder to swap out with our leader ability. So let's probably just do that immediately, to be honest with you. Let's make sure I remember how this works. Yes. So do that. Then I am going to, I think, get out Patricide. And then Gabor maybe next time round. Because, yeah, you're a one-time thing, whereas you're an engine. The earlier we get you out, the better you are. Also, Xavier with Patricide is certainly not bad. So, oh, we get 2. Right, I forgot we get 2. Alright, well, best of both worlds. We'll get Xavier out later. Okay, damage from our Arbalists. Patricide.
Wanna know why I've got my scar?
Alright, you, do not have zeal. Probably gonna put the...
Oh, could murder a pipe.
The smoke in this row here, so I'm deliberately putting a bunch of stuff in the same row. Okay, like, that's already pretty low. Thankfully. And that's not even the... It's not even us taking our turn, technically speaking. Okay, so we could still Reynard and transform you, because that was just our leader ability. We haven't played anything from our hand. Disgrace Brawler is also the other thing that we could consider going for here. Sure. Oh, what I really don't want is for them to steal our super big bronzes. Oh, that's actually terrifying the more I think of that. That's actually extremely terrifying. We definitely need those to go in this row, or whatever row we put the smoke in. That needs to be top priority. Does this, hold on, what is... Atlantic Fog gives all allied units on it immune. Is that only allied units that are in it when we create that fog, or anyone who enters it later, who is already on the board, still gains immunity? Because that is crucially important when it comes to getting a very high-powered infiltrator or 2 over there. So that is our win condition. So, okay, that might end up being in the melee row then. Otherwise, well, no, because it's going to have to be over here. Ooh, okay, this, you know, we might have wanted to have given ourselves a little more room in this range row, and by that I mean we definitely wanted to give ourselves more room in that range row. Okay, our leader ability we can use to move some people around as well, but you are going here. And you will probably be stolen. But that's okay. Maybe. Possibly. Sort of. Kind of. We can move that as well. Okay, they're gonna steal. Yep. You.
Life is mine now.
Damage enemy by 2 whenever ally appears. Gain 1 charge. Okay. So. Let's see. Patricide. I'm still not 100% sure if it's actually gonna cap these palisades or not. Technically, it shouldn't. But. Probably go Reynard here.
We must trust each other. We must exploit the breach in their fortifications, Your Grace.
Okay, now, is that actually gonna do something if we destroy a palisade? Because destroying a palisade does not really seem to do anything. Destroying the castle gate, that definitely does. But is some other narrative thing gonna happen? Okay, yeah, so it's only these 3 that are counting, but it's gonna become more powerful as time goes on. Okay. What do you do? Return turn start damage the highest power enemy unit by 5. If its power is even number. It's Reynard and he's an odd number, so no. That's really strange. Okay. Alright, we do need to make sure we give ourselves some time to do all this stuff, because it does take a little while to make all those things happen. But now, let's just continue whittling away there. And we will need to put Gascon here in the range row.
Coin never stinks, no matter how
no, we put him in the melee row. And then apply.
Their archers shouldn't be any
Oh, we
more
could
trouble.
to both rows. That's incredible. Okay, I'm all for it. Alright, so I don't really understand what the... Like, I absolutely see the value of Gascon. Not 100% clear on what exactly destroying a single palisade is going to do, though. If anything.
Wise choice.
Okay. Just trying to take you out. Which we should be able to do on our next turn. Now we probably should be looking to set up Tainted Ale and Infiltrators and all that stuff. So let's move you, because the Infiltrators are going to end up on this row. And who are we going to go after? Let's see, our tallest cards are still all on an odd amount of power, so you're not really a threat. Although you are the highest unit right now. You guys do have the potential to deal more damage. It's probably best to go after one of you, I guess, even if you're technically not quite as highly boosted. So, and you know as soon as we do this that someone else is going to come in who's going to be even bigger still. But alas, let's put you here. And then we're going to have to Tainted Ale on our next turn, and then we're going to do the other Infiltrator. After that, you're going to come back. You're going to come back. I mean, we might be able to go Tainted Ale first, but again, it's the timing of it. I want to make sure that we have it all working out properly here. So it's unit on the right. Yeah.
Can't get our asses moving.
So that only needs one more turn. Granted, you did throw someone else in there. Okay, fair enough. So now we are going to do this. And that. Now you come back. You're still immune. That's key, because that means they can't steal. Yes, we completely shut down his order ability. His leader ability. Okay, now you've been boosted. You're still going to be the highest card, so we're going to put you over here. Hopefully they don't put anything else in between. In the meantime, now Patricide, we could go for pretty much whatever. Oh yeah, and they're basically all archers, and the archers can't really do anything because we have all the immunity. Okay, so Gascon, definitely playing a big factor here. I guess you're one of the only things that can still be a threat in that case? Oh yeah. Is that their leader ability? In no world would you be able to steal something, seize a random... random bronze enemy unit? I guess? That technically means you don't need to target someone? In which case that is terrifying, because you could steal very powerful units. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that very much. I also don't know what that's going to be all about. We've not seen much in the way of traps thus far. Okay, I'm going to hit you. And then... Alzer's Thunder... Oh, we would like to get rid of you. Like, a lot. Oh, we can't use our leader really anymore because all of our units have immunity. That's interesting. It's actually backfired a little bit there. Yeah, we actually would like to use Patricide to take you out. That's going to get destroyed. You're going to come back. Oh, you actually can come back on either row. Okay. Draw Lyrian and Nilfgaardian card? Interesting. Okay, well, now we're going to do this. Hopefully you had some of those in your hand. You didn't. Okay, fair enough. Now we're looking to play things next to the Infiltrators and then use the Alchemists to make those cards much bigger. And ideally, we would make those be gold cards so they can't get stolen randomly by Caldwell and risk that they take our biggest cards. We have a big enough lead here that I'm hoping that's still not going to be a problem, but we don't know what this is all about, so... And they also have more cards than we do right now, so we need to be careful nonetheless. Alright, so this sets equal to the unit on the left, so we want you to be over here.
I think you'll really like it.
Actually, was that... that one was bigger. Alright, technically it was better to play him there. Oh. Well, almost got the opportunity to double Tainted Ale and make those infiltrators even bigger. Although at that point, maybe just overkill and... Oh, what did that do? Destroy next unit played from your opponent's hand? Yeah, that is unfortunate. Not clear to me what triggered the ambush, because that was there for a little while. But okay, yeah. The other thing is that this, by boosting someone further and further setting up, if we had used that to further set up the infiltrators, would have made it just even more risky if they had managed to steal one of these, which they may still be able to. So in some ways, it's a risk that is not worth taking. But let's see, our highest card is actually an even number, so you will get hit. But I mean, I think we just get rid of... I don't know, you're probably still worth more. These guys can't use orders. So that was going to be... Barnabas was going to be our target for the Alchemist, so that does make the Alchemist much less effective, unfortunately. Boosts adjacent units if this one has armor. Okay. So now... Did I forget to use Patricide on the previous turn? I might have. So we could destroy you. So you are giving some long-term value. That's overkill damage, yes, but... Otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, not quite going to be enough to get rid of your armor, unfortunately. But... Yeah, maybe... You're not dealing damage now because our highest unit is on an odd number once again. You're going to get destroyed anyway. I guess we... just take the damage we can get. Okay. So this first Alchemist is not going to be good. Oh, we also can't use them at all because we have the immunity. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Okay, these are kind of dead cards in that case. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, we've seen both the positives and the negatives.
I'm no mage.
Oh, we could use... We actually are forced to use them on our opponents, which we can make kind of interesting. We can weaken this guy, who is somewhat valuable, down to 2 power, so I guess we'll do that.
Greetings. What is it?
Alright, so... A lot of this depends on what cards Caldwell steals. So we do have a big margin here, but at the same time, we cannot be absolutely certain that we are going to make out of this with these infiltrators still on our side of the board. So now, what do we want? We could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once again, not enough to actually destroy you. Unfortunately, as much as we'd like to do that, so I think we just probably destroy you instead. Highest unit is still an odd number, yes, so you're not really that much of a threat right now. An Alchemist we use to make you small. Yeah.
If anyone asks...
There we go. Okay, now even if they do steal an Infiltrator, hopefully we're still fine. This is going to get destroyed on our next turn, which should still happen, because even though we've passed, we technically still have a turn. Alright, they have a lot of cards, though. A lot of cards left, which the scary part is that means lots of turns in which they could steal an Infiltrator. They had a long cooldown on that ability, though, so I'm hoping that this last card is not big enough, but it's starting to add up a lot. Okay!
Touch him. The count is mine.
That was a little closer than I would have liked. Little closer than I would have liked.
Many of Meve's victories have been immortalized in poetry and song, but not the fall of Tuzla. Lyrians fought Lyrians. Brothers killed brothers.
That explains the other colors of the armor as well, we were
Cursed
noting
sword.
before.
Certainly nothing to inspire a bard. Near the battle's end, Meve stormed the great stone tower to which Caldwell had fled.
Oh.
The queen ascended the stairs.
We gonna have a decision?
Blow after blow, blood cascading down in her wake.
About what to do with Caldwell?
She reached the top floor to find the count waiting, with no intention to defend himself.
Oh, is that so? Is this supposed to be a way for us to pity him? An attempt at forcing us to show mercy.
It's mercy you expect. You'll be sorely disappointed.
Exactly. You know, it's a little late. Little late for that, Caldwell.
Mercy. I know you all too well for that, Meve. Ever vindictive and cruel.
Okay, says the person who joined the enemy. It doesn't mean much coming from you.
From a paragon of knightly virtues.
Oh, yeah.
You stabbed me in the back, Caldwell, and used Willem to do so. My son!
Yeah, you know, you got a hard case to be made here, Caldwell, and you're not close to making it.
Who agreed without a moment's hesitation? Forsaken by your own son, your flesh and blood. What's that say about you?
You're not winning yourself any favors right now, Caldwell.
Oh, you tread on thin ice. Choose your next words carefully.
Spare me your threats. You'll kill me all the same.
I mean, let's be honest. He's probably right.
Death can come in many ways, Count. Some quick, some slow.
Oh, okay.
My, how you strut and vaunt. Terribly sure of yourself. Perhaps too sure.
Same could be said of you as well, for someone who is, well, about to be at the least captured, probably murdered, and possibly tortured, by the looks of things.
Your castle is mine. I've crushed your force. I dare say no, I'm not.
Precisely my point. Don't you see? The Empire's not one army, it's dozens, hundreds. It's what I strove to knock into that thick dome of yours. Alas, you're too much a dullard.
I mean, we're whittling away at it. Wherever we can.
Soon as I'd learned you'd crossed into Angren, I sent for reinforcements. They'll be here soon. 3 regiments, armed to the teeth.
And that was 1 regiment that we just fought, I assume? Shall be long gone, we'll face them too and win. I mean, I don't know if the statements we make to this traitor has any bearing on whether we actually choose to take that action long term. I would like to believe that we don't actually have to do the thing that we are telling Caldwell right here. If anything, probably would make sense to tell him what we do not plan to do and lead him off. And that way, if he does have any last-second ways to inform the Nilfgaardians, they have not been informed of what we plan to do next. So, with that in mind, I don't really know how significant this statement is, but we'll be gone, I guess. You know, at this point, we're looking to weaken the Nilfgaardians. We came here to cripple their supply lines, particularly of wood, but not necessarily to do a head-on, full-blown war just yet. This is more just a battle, a series of skirmishes, and nothing more.
They'll find your corpse impaled upon a spike, while I'll be long gone.
By which path, I wonder?
Not that we'd tell you.
One bridge leads to Tuzla. As it happens, I ordered it raised as you laid siege. The swamps around the castle are too deep to cross. Try to rebuild the bridge, the Imperial troops will arrive before you can finish. Your men they'll slay as you watch, and then they'll wring your neck.
Okay, now I'll admit that was a reasonably good strategic decision on his part, as cruel as it may have been to destroy any bridge leading up to the castle that he was currently in. If he won this battle, then his troops would have wrung out his neck, but
I wouldn't be so pleased were I you. You won't live to see this outcome.
I know that, but I take heart in the truth. Though the castle you've seized and will likely kill me, I've won.
I also hate the way that he's just ever so often pulling on his belt there, just I don't even know, further reinforcing the fact that he's just this rich, lazy aristocrat who doesn't actually help his troops in the fight at all, and was basically ready to sacrifice them all by burning both bridges to this place, or the bridge on either side, presumably, so that even if they had won the fight, there'd be no escape for them either. I guess, oh, well, then they could build their own bridge at that point, and they wouldn't have to worry about the... You know what I mean.
Outsmarted you, Meve. Twice now. And you know what? 'Twasn't even that hard.
Caldwell?
With those words, with his arrogance and contempt,
Okay.
Caldwell had gone too far.
Oh, we see Meve's
Queen
reflection as
gripped
well.
His shoulders, pushed. Caldwell stumbled backwards.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get a choice here.
A blood-chilling shriek filled the courtyard, then broke off abruptly.
Now fool me thrice. Try.
Meve slapped the dust from her hands. The traitor had met a deserving end at last. Yet this was no time to revel in the Count's demise. If Caldwell had spoken the truth, the Queen and her army were in grave danger.
It is true. I mean, he did kind of give us a warning, for what it's worth.
Meve's scouts quickly confirmed the traitor's claim. The bridge was indeed in flames, and Nilfgaardian regiments were advancing from the south.
Can we put those flames out real quick?
There was truly no other route by which they could flee. The Queen ordered her men to ask the local peasants. One of their number, a stable hand who'd lived near Tuzla all his life, claimed a secret path led out the back of the stronghold.
Oh. Do tell.
King Ragbard himself ordered it built. Had him drop great stones into its swamp, one after another, like beads on a string. Bit of water covers them, so you can't see nowt at start. Can make 'em out if you go proper slow, though.
Is he
What's
telling the
The
truth?
They lead to Isgith.
Oh.
There, my lady, lurks an evil worse nor any black-clad army.
What? A beast of some sort?
Some
No.
sea beast.
Well,
Yes.
kind of.
Guernicora, they call her.
Yep.
See, my lady. Isgith shines red with her blood.
Yeah. Well, we expected to run into Gernakor at some point, didn't we? And perhaps that time is soon approaching.
A silly tale to frighten children, Meve thought at first.
No, I don't think it is.
For something about the man's voice made his every word believable.
None too encouraging, yet preferable to certain death. Tell me, from Isgith, will we reach the banks of the Yaruga, near Red Lobenden perchance?
Aye, your majesty. You need but head north. And pray all along the way.
Yeah.
Soon, Meve stood where the stable hand had said she should, at the edge of a vast marsh.
Okay, again, don't need to decide whether we believe this guy or not. It's just gonna happen.
Probed for solid ground. Sure enough, she found stone. One cautious step, then another. Meve slowly strode off towards Isgith.
Okay, I mean, is our entire army following us as well? Because this does feel like that's a rather difficult thing to do with a huge... I mean, not that our army is that big, but still, large group of people watching their step like that. Well, we got reinforcements, though. It's been added to our army, can be found at the command tent. We'll certainly give that a look. And we are back on neutral morale. Okay, can we go back to loot the inside of the... There's so much stuff there, though. There's so... Oh. Okay. Oh, what is... There's a couple new reports. Hold on. Might have seen this before. I don't know. But they're both highlighted here, so let's give them a quick read at the very least. To Palatine Caldwell. Apparently that was his first name. From Dahi. I've denied your request to return to Lyria. Admittedly, your argument that, as a young ruler, King Willem needs the support of an experienced statesman is entirely grounded. I assure you, however, that if the need arises, I personally shall advise the king. At the present moment, your talents are more useful in Angren. As you know, the Emperor places great import on the timely delivery of building materials to our shipyards. I thus advise you to make meeting his expectations your priority. No delays, no matter the reason, will be tolerated. Alright, that is, I mean, something that we probably more or less knew before, but I think that still had an icon on it. This definitely did. Count Caldwell speaks the truth. Scouts report powerful Nilfgaardian army marching from south. From south? Oh yeah. Although we are kind of coming from the south, which is odd, because that means they're coming from behind us. The Nilfgaardians are south of the Northern Realms, so I guess that does still check out. Forgers riding ahead, requisitioning enough food for 6-7 regiments, plus cavalry and war machines. We stand no chance against such strength. Immediate retreat advised. Alright, I mean, technically we are retreating. We are headed north. But let's also look at the reinforcements card that we just gained. And see what that is all about. Is it a trinket? Looks like it's a tactic? Is that not the same thing? So I'm not sure we've seen anything yet that's said tactic. Choose an ally and play all copies of it from your deck. Alright, it definitely fits the reinforcements theme. The thing that comes to mind there would be the Skellige guys. Now if we have... we did not put all the Disgraced Warriors in our deck, but this might be reason to do so. We could basically, if we have one Disgraced Warrior, we play it, or one of the Disgraced Brawlers. You play that one that you have. If every other copy is buried in your deck, you use reinforcements to get them all out, which, at that point, still not amazing. But it's, in theory, you know, it's a 16-ish point play, and then you have the order abilities as well. And then if you can pull off all the combos that we did in a couple matches ago with the whole replaying, wherever you are, Dogger, to get them out from our graveyard again, then it can really, and repeatedly trigger their death wishes and all that, then it could certainly add up. So it does facilitate that combo a little bit, but not sure if that's going to be reliable enough that we really want to be throwing that in right now. It does not have a recruit cap cost right now listed, so I assume that means it is a attack? Wait, or a trinket, rather? Huh? Where'd it go? Okay, yeah, it did go there. It did go there. Okay. Yeah, so I think we might leave that out for now. We'll see. I mean, on the high end, you get all the Skellige stuff working, then yes, it does seem like that could definitely be worthwhile. If you don't, however, or if you already have all the Skellige stuff in hand, then probably be pretty bad in that case, and you wish you wouldn't have it, you wish you'd have something else. So, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll add that in later on. But for now, we are going to be looking ahead to, okay, interesting. Previously, yes, there was a pathway down here. Did it lead to this section, or has this all been completely reworked? It feels like it looks a little bit bigger than it was before, a little wider. I thought in the back of my mind was thinking in the past, and although this was the halfway point, kind of, sort of, in that it was cutting us off from this first half and leaving us here in the second half, it seemed like the area was kind of wider in the first half and much narrower in the second half. So I was kind of thinking that, like, at least with this part here, it seemed as though this second half might be kind of shorter. Likely less things squished in all this, but who knows? Only time will tell. But with that being said, I think this is a good place for us to wrap up here, as we have now finally gotten revenge on Caldwell. But, you know, that whole concern about Kernakora, yeah, it sounds like we may be about to run into her, so we're gonna have to brace ourselves for that. But thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.